And welcome back to the 2024 ACCC Softball Championship game here in Veterans Park here at Alabaster, Alabama, as we are in the winner's bracket with Northwest Shoals facing off against the defending ACCC champions from last year, Wallace Hanceville Lions. Lions will be the home team in this one. Shoals will be the away team. We're about to get this one underway after a 1-hour thunder and lightning delay here at Veterans Park as it postponed all the games that were coming up and also the games that are currently in action. I believe we either have one or two games that are currently going on in the third or fourth inning as we speak. That's in Division 2. Division 1, we're about to get game number 2 in the books here. As it's a 1-0 count, this one's going to be popped up and this will go out of play. We want to thank everyone for their patience, and we're ready to rock and roll here in the winner's bracket. As Wallace Hanceville was awaiting the winner of that Northwest Shoals versus Shelton State game. Northwest Shoals coming away with an 11-9 victory in extra innings, defeating Shelton State, who is now in the loser's bracket as we speak. As this one will be chopped foul. It'll be the battle between the number ones here in this winner's bracket game. Starting pitcher for Wallace Hanceville will be number 1, Katie Simon. The sophomore right-hand pitcher will be making her 22nd appearance on the hill. This is only, according to stats, her second start of the year, which I don't believe that is correct. But 9 wins, 4 losses, and 1 save this year for Katie Simon. And only has 1 complete game this season. 87 innings of work, 79 hits allowed, 40 earned runs. Her strikeout to walk ratio is 84-40 and a 3.19 ERA. As this is lifted down the left field line, foul. Count remain 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braden Mitchell, the opposite number 1, in their batter's box. Northwest Shoals with their dark blue jerseys with white pants, while for Wallace Hanceville they will be in orange and white jerseys with dark blue pants. As we are in the winner's bracket game, like I mentioned, a very cloudy afternoon going into the evening, as this one is fouled off down the left field line once again from Braden Mitchell, who had 4 RBIs in the win in the playing game to begin against Shelton State. And only 1 home run allowed this year by Katie Simon. She gets a nod here in game number 1. We were supposed to have this game pretty close to like 12 o'clock. That was the original start time. But we had a couple of postponements. Game started today around 2 o'clock in our foul ball from Braden Mitchell. And then we had this winner's bracket game pushed back to now close to 6 o'clock. Yes, actually past 6 o'clock here at Veterans Park. But hopefully the weather is able to cooperate for the remainder of the night. We still have one more game left on field number 2. It will be in Division 2 play to conclude the night. Final Division 1 game here on day number 1. That is in for strike 3, and Katie Simon with a strikeout to Mitchell to open things up. And we'll give you some score updates from the previous games, the first 4 games that we had. Originally, we were supposed to have just Division 1 play to begin the day, but since we had postponements, we had all 4 fields start at the same exact time. We were able to get all 4 games done before we had this lightning delay. Game number 2 was pushed back just a moment, but that is going to be in for a strike here to Maddie Griffith. Taking a look at the final scores here in Veterans Park, we had South Florida State defeat Bishop State in Division 2 softball. 10-8 was your final. And then we had Central Alabama Community College defeat Bevel State 9-4. So Central Alabama and South Florida State will be in the winner's bracket. Bishop State and Bevel State will face off against one another here on field number 2 to conclude the afternoon going into the evening. Counts even at 1 ball and 1 strike here to Maddie Griffith. Simon with the pitch. He'll be in for a strike. And the other Division 1 game that we had was Snead State defeating Southern Union 10-7 in 7 innings. So Snead State and Northwest Shoals in the winner's bracket. Snead State will face off against Coastal South. That'll be on field number 5. So that'll be the 2 fields, field number 2 and field number 5 in Division I play. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Maddie Griffith. As we take a look at the lines down the field, they'll have number 14, Emily Hall, behind the plate. Jessie Taylor will be at first base. Laura Lee Wheeler will be at second. Jaden Foster at short. And Bailey Rouse will be at third. As that one's in for strike 3 as well. Back-to-back Ks for Katie Simon. 2 up, 2 down to begin here in the top of the first. And that Thunder delay definitely helped out Northwest Shoals that completed their comeback in a battle, almost a 3-hour game against Shelton State. And they were going to have to turn 30 minutes from after their final out and face off against Hanceville. But since we had that Thunder delay, they were able to get a needed rest before facing off against the defending ACCC champions. In the outfield for the Lions, they'll have Haley Holyhand in left, Brandy Phillips in center, and Caroline Carton will be in right field for Wallace Hanceville. 2 strikeouts to begin to Mitchell and Griffith as Brooklyn Owens swings and misses for strike number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brooklyn Owens had 3 hits in the Game 1 victory against Shelton State. All 3 of her last plate appearances coming in with singles, couple of RBIs. Big reason why Northwest Shoals was able to come back and win that game, as that one's going to connect for a strike as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Katie Simon looking for the hat trick and strikeouts to open up this game. A 7-inning game today here on field number 2. Like I said, we do apologize for the bleachers and stands blocking some of the field on our camera and also up here in the press spots. But we should have hopefully a clean game here in Alabaster, Alabama. Northwest Shoals comes in and 57 games played, 241 runs scored, a .296 batting average as a team. They've only hit 8 home runs, which is the least amount in the conference. Swung on and missed. A hat trick of strikeouts for Katie Simon as we head to the bottom of the first. No score between the Patriots and the Lions. Welcome back here in the bottom of the first. We'll take a look at the starting pitcher for the Patriots, as it will be number 32, Taylor Cameron. The sophomore right-handed pitcher will be making her 45th appearance. She came in and delivered the win for Northwest Shoals in the victory against Shelton State earlier today, as she was able to pitch the 7th and 8th inning and did not allow a single run, as the first pitch will be inside for ball number 1. So her total innings pitch is over 158 innings of work. 8 wins, 10 losses, 5 saves, and 7 complete games under her belt during the Redwoods season, as she made over 19 starts during the Redwoods season on the circle for the Patriots. As that one's inside, and that's actually going to hit the leadoff batter, number 4, Caroline Carton. So she'll take first base, and we have our first base runner here against the Patriots and the Lions. As that'll bring in number 9, Jaden Foster. Take a look at the Patriots down the field. Maddie Griffith, who was not catching the first game, will be behind the plate. Brooklyn Owens at first. Serenity Sisk, who was originally in right field to begin the postseason, is now at second. Bethany Mink is at short. Aspen Teague at third base. Haven Steely, who we saw one at bat in the first one, is in left field now. Candy Clark in center. Carly Wallace is now in right field for the Patriots. So they're going out with pretty much the same lineup that they had to conclude their first game today against Shelton State. The only difference is Haven Steely in left field. But Taylor Cameron was the last pitcher used by head coach Angel Brown, who's in her second season with Northwest Shoals. First time in the postseason here in the ACCC, as Northwest Shoals just joined the ACCC just this season. And they're trying to put up a huge season. This is going to be a fly ball to left field. And there to make the catch is Haven Steely for out number 1. As we take a look at starting batting order for the Lions, a very impressive Hanceville Lions lineup with Caroline Carton, Jaden Foster, and Laura Leigh Wheeler leading things off, followed by Bailey Rouse batting cleanup, Haley Holyhand, Jesse Taylor, Brandy Phillips, Tessa Ward as the designated player, and Emily Hall. That's the starting 9 for the Lions here in their first game of the postseason here in Veterans Park, as that pitch is inside. Here to Laura Lee Wheeler. Hanceville this season in 44 games, 315 total runs, a .331 batting average as a team, 64 home runs hit as a ball club. A lot of power in this lineup, especially with Laura Lee Wheeler. So that one will miss there. Wheeler this season has hit 16 home runs, 49 RBIs, a .369 batting average. That is the most home runs on the team. Bailey Rouse behind her with 15, 52 hit season. And their top hitters on this lineup, all with 50-plus hits on the year. Very talented Hanceville lineup. And they find a way to get on base as well. That one will connect for a strike. 396 on base percentage and .567 slugging percentage for the Lions this season under head coach Lauren Stewart. Put a runner on first, Caroline Carton. Wheeler trying to get the postseason going for the Lions. They've had to wait a long time. The Lions were actually warming up after the conclusion of the Northwest Shoals versus Shelton State game. They were called off the field due to the thunder and lightning delay, and then had to wait an extra 45 minutes for them to finally start warming up again, and now we're starting the game just past 6 o'clock here at Veterans Park. And the pitch. Connects for a strike. Good-looking pitch there from Taylor Cameron. As both teams throwing out their best pitcher here in this winner's bracket game. The winner of this one has an easier chance of going to the championship with no losses, while the loser will face elimination tomorrow. But whoever loses this game will not be eliminated from the postseason, as this is ripped down the left field line, foul. And it'll be a full count here to Laura Lee Wheeler with Bailey Rouse, number 22, on deck. I'm Dallas Rinsey with the call this afternoon going into the evening here at Veterans Park. Entertain game number 1 between Northwest Shoals and Shelton State. And now we'll see what the Lions will do against the Northwest Shoals team coming off their thrilling victory. So that one will miss inside. It'll be a walk here with 1 out. Runners at first and second. As Wheeler's able to work a walk. And now bring up Bailey Rouse. 15 home runs, 51 RBIs on the year, 55 hit season, which is second most on the team behind Jaden Foster, who has 56. She's hit 9 doubles this year, .374 batting average. Jaden Foster leads the way with, or actually, Caroline Carton leads the team with the best batting average with .413. Foster has .409. First pitch is going to be in for a strike. Here to Bailey Rouse playing at third base today for the Lions. 3 strikeouts to begin the game for the starting pitcher, Katie Simon, for the Lions. Traffic on the base bats here, first and second for the Lions. As Rouse sends one to center field, right at the center fielder, Clark. She'll make the catch for out number 2. And now bring out the left fielder, Haley Holyhand. Good crowd here for this one. We had a big crowd for the Shelton State Northwest Shoals game earlier. Northwest Shoals fans basically stay in the same dugout and also on the right side of the bleachers. Wallace Hanceville fans take up where Shelton State was at earlier. Shelton State will play in the losers bracket game tomorrow. bright and early, depending on how the weather will be for this one. 1-0 count here to Holy Hand. Holy Hand this year with 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, a .311 batting average, 32 hits, 7 doubles, and 1 triple on the year. Still searching for our first base hit for the Lions. Caroline Carton was able to reach after being hit by a pitch to lead off the bottom of the first. Nora Lee Wheeler able to work a walk with 1 out. But it's been 2 flyouts to Foster and Rouse. That brings up Holy Hand, trying to give the Lions an early lead here in this one. It'll be the number 1 seed versus number 5 seed. So that one's going to miss downstairs. And it's a 3-0 count. We'll see how aggressive Holy Hand's going to be here. My head coach Angel Brown made a change on the circle very early on in game 1 against Shelton State. Went to number 1, Braden Mitchell. We'll see if that will happen with Cameron, as that one misses upstairs and the Lions have the bases loaded up here in the bottom of the first. Not a single base hit for the Lions as of yet. 2 walks and a hit batter, as it brings up Jesse Taylor. Bid spot here for Taylor Cameron, trying to put up a 0 like her counter partner Katie Simon did in the top of the first inning. But bases loaded here with 2 outs, and the first pitch will sail outside. Jesse Taylor, 12 home runs, 41 RBIs, a 38 hit season with 8 doubles and a triple, a .302 batting average, and we have a very quick visit on the circle with Cameron, as the assistant coach from Northwest Shoals has a quick conversation with her. With a very cloudy evening here at Veterans Park. Hopefully we will not have any problems moving forward with the weather. We have this game and then a Division II elimination game between Bishop State and Bevel State played here on field number 2 to conclude day number 1 of this tournament. Very busy day on JockJive as well. We have 4 games currently going on at the moment. This field and 3 others. And also we have the ACCC baseball tournament currently going on in Oxford and also at Jacksonville. Jesse Taylor with a golden opportunity here with 2 outs. Here gets Taylor Cameron and the Patriots. That one connects, and that's a needed strike there. At 1 ball and 1 strike, Brandy Phillips, number 6, moves to the on-deck circle. As Taylor is one of 3 batters with over 10 home runs on the season. Very powerful lineup. We'll see if Taylor can get something going here. And that's going to be in for strike number 2. Bat-to-bat strikes thrown here by Taylor Cameron, as he tries to send this one to the top of the second. With the bases loaded here, Carton on at third, Wheeler on at second, Holy Hand is on at first base. J.C. Taylor bows here with a 1-2 count. Shows bunt. She'll draw it back. And this is going to be chopped right to Cameron, but a foul ball is called before she takes it over to first. Count will be 1-2. As Taylor will get another crack at it here on this at-bat, her first meeting here against Taylor Cameron. 5th meeting between these 2 teams. And now head coach Angel Brown having a conversation with the home plate umpire. The Lions won 3 of the 4 meetings during the regular season against the Patriots this season. And this is the first meeting since April 27th. First 2 games were at Northwest Shoals. Hanceville lost the first game 6-5. And then won the second game of that doubleheader 4-2. And then they came home at Hanceville and defeated the Patriots in 2 run rules. The first one 10-1 in 6 innings. The second one was a 12-1 victory for the Lions in 5 innings. Well, it's been a good bench since these 2 teams have met, just 2 weeks Bad taste in their mouth for the Patriots the last time they faced off against one another. And now they're having a conversation with head coach Lawrence Stewart about the last occurrence. A foul ball was called right before Taylor Cameron was able to stroll over to first base and get the out to conclude the inning. The entire infield is in the circle now for the Patriots, as this is a big call here early on. No out has been signaled yet, but this is a big call here in the bottom of the first inning. In a 7-inning game, and now Cameron having a long conversation with her head coach as well. Jesse Taylor hoping she gets another pitch to be seen here at this at-bat with Brandy Phillips on deck. Starting off with Caroline Carton hit by a pitch. Jane Foster flew out to left field. Lorelei Wheeler able to work in a walk with one out. A fly out to center field with Bailey Rouse. And then Haley Holyhand with a walk to load the bases up. And Jesse Taylor battling on a 1-2 count. And an out has been recorded on Jesse Taylor. So it'll be a 1-3 put out to end the first inning, leaving the bases loaded for the Lions. The long conversation goes in favor of the Patriots. We head to the second, no score between the Lions and Patriots here on JockJive. Welcome back to the top of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors for both teams. Bases were left loaded for Wallace Hanceville after a 1-3 putout for Taylor Cameron. And now we'll bring up Northwest Shoals a chance to take the lead here against Katie Simon, who struck out 3 batters. And that top of the first inning, it'll be Aspen Teed, Kennedy Clark, and Carly Wallace to lead things off here for Northwest Shoals. Teed with a couple of base hits in the win against Shelton State. Playing at third, swung on a miss there for Aspen Teed. Well, Northwest Shoals, not a lot of power in their batting order. They've hit the least amount of home runs in the ACCC Division I, but they have stolen the most bases this season. They had a bunch of stolen bases against Shelton State, including a bunch of double steals against Shelton State to help with their comeback against the Bucks. Count is going to be at 1-2 here to Aspen Teed with Kennedy Clark on deck. Simon looking for her 4th strikeout so far on the 4th batter she's faced, and she's able to get it. Swung on a miss from Aspen Teed. 4 batters, 4 strikeouts for Katie Simon. And that'll be out number 1 here in the top of the second inning with Kennedy Clark up next to bat, who had a 3-hit performance against Shelton State. A lot of hits in that win for Northwest Shoals. Did not come early, especially in the first 2 innings, but they did combine for a total of 17 base hits against the Bucks. That'll be a first pitch strike here to Clark. Take a look at our team profile today for Wallace Hanceville under head coach Lawrence Stewart, the former Spanish Fort Toro softball coach. Made the transition to JUCO. So that pitch will be downstairs. Number 1 seed in this year's tournament for Wallace Hanceville. They won the ACCC last year versus Coastal South, who is currently facing off against Snead State in the winner's bracket game on field number 5. They went 32-12 this season overall and 19-5 in the conference. It was basically a battle between them and Coastal South, who's going to be the number 1 seed. Coastal South clinched the number 2, so that's why they were able to get the first round bye and also be the home team against the winner of Snead State and Southern Union. Count's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike here for Katie Simon. And that connects. Good low strike there for Katie Simon. Series wins for the Lions against Snead State, Southern Union, Coastal South, Northwest Shoals, and Calhoun. The only series they did not win was against Shelton State. That was a split between the Bucks. Besides that, they've won all the remainder series. That will be fouled off from Kenny Clark. And their offense is as advertised. Most home runs hit with 64 on the year. They have stolen the least amount of stolen bases this season in the ACCC. However, they have the best batting average as a team and the 4th most hits combined in their batting order. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one misses outside. Full count here to Kenny Clark as Simon looking for her 5th straight strikeout. And their pitching staff has the least amount of earned runs against them this year. They've walked the 2nd least amount of batters. And they've only allowed 9 home runs as a pitching staff this season. 3-2 pitch popped up in the air. Simon calls for it, makes the catch. And that'll be the first non-strikeout that Katie Simon has retired so far here in the early goings. As it brings up Carly Wallace, who came straight out of the dugout and produced some offense for Wallace, or for Northwest Shoals in the first one. 2 up, 2 down to begin here in this one in the top of the 2nd. And the pitch. This one's going to be fouled straight out of play. And also another thing about Wallace Hanceville's pitching staff, they have the best ERA in Division I play as well. They are as good offensively as they are defensively this season. Reason why they are threatening to win the ACCC in Division I once again. So that one will miss downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Carly Wallace. Couple of base hits. It was Carly Wallace, Bethany Mink, and Haven Steely that came in, produced offense. This is basically the strong part of the batting order for Northwest Shoals. So that one will miss downstairs. Good take there from Carly Wallace playing in right field. With Bethany Mink on deck playing at short. But going with the lineup that came away with the victory against Shelton State. Hanceville, a different animal, however. Hoping for a similar result. 3 balls and 1 strike. No base runners yet for Northwest Shoals. 4 strikeout batters and a pop out at the pitcher. Wallace trying to change that up. She's got a 3-1 count. We'll see how aggressive she'll be. And she hits a line drive. That's going to be caught at third, just outside our camera screen. That's caught from Bailey Rouse at third for the final out here in the top of the 2nd. 3 up, 3 down as Katie Simon has retired the first 6 batters she's faced as we head to the bottom of the 2nd here on JockJive. It'll be the bottom of the batting order to lead things off for Hanceville, where Brandy Phillips, Tessa Word, and Emily Hall to lead things off for the Lions. They had the bases loaded in the bottom of the first. It was a 1-3 putout to end that bottom of the first inning to leave the bases loaded. We'll see what the Lions can do with the bottom of their batting order here. But Brandy Phillips to lead things off. A 51-hit season for the freshman infielder. There's a mix of veterans and first-time players for Wallace Hanceville that provide to an excellent season. Grounded foul down the left field line. From Brandy Phillips playing in center field today. 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. A .329 batting average coming into this game. This will be at bat number 156, as she has played in all 45 games this season for the Lions this year. As Taylor Cameron resumes duties on the circle. It was a very long conversation after that 1-3 putout. Taylor Cameron immediately ran over to first base thinking that it was not a foul ball and it was just a ground ball that went back to her to get the final out. The umpires discussed the ruling with both teams, and they came with the conclusion that it was an out, and that's a big break for the Patriots. So that one will miss inside. 2-1 here to Phillips with Tessa Word and Emily Hall due up. Tessa Word batting as the designated player. But this first-year player in Brandy Phillips has been a huge contribution for Wallace Hanceville this season. Up and down this lineup for the Lions. Pretty spectacular this year. 3-1. No base hits for either team so far. Katie Simon with 4 strikeouts so far. While for Taylor Cameron, able to allow her defense to make the play. 2 walks and a hit batter. That's all the base runners for Wallace Hanceville so far. As that one's downstairs, and it'll be a leadoff walk here to Brandy Phillips. 3rd walk of the game issued from Taylor Cameron. The other 2 walks belonging to Haley Holyhand and Laura Lee Wheeler. That brings up Tessa Word, number 19. With 7 home runs this year and 33 RBIs, .339 batting average, 41 base hits. And the first pitch will miss outside for ball 1. 5 doubles on the year. This will be at bat number 122 for her on the year. With a runner on first with no outs. Hanceville trying to strike first here against Taylor Cameron. The battle of the aces in this winner's bracket game. That'll be in for a strike. Stealing for second and able to make it in is Brandy Phillips. And the Lions have their first stolen base. Brandy Phillips, that will be her 14th stolen base of the year, which leads the team in that department. Mentioned earlier, Wallace Hanceville not known for their stolen bases as a team. They only have now 37 stolen bases this year, while Northwest Shoals on the opposite with over 100 stolen bases as a team. Well, Phillips is their leading stolen base getter with 14 on the year and has only been caught stealing once. In second place is Caroline Carton with 6, and then there's a couple of other players with just 1 stolen base each. They're known for their home run power. So that one's going to miss outside. 3-1. First base is open. But some concern in that dugout for Northwest Shoals after already 3 walks and 1 hit batter from Taylor Cameron. Runner on second here with no outs for Tessa Word. Now be in for a strike. Needed it right there. Full count to Word. With number 14, Emily Hall on deck. Hanceville fans ready to erupt. They've been waiting all day long for their game. Thought they were going to be playing around 12 o'clock and even 4 o'clock this afternoon. Pushed back to 6 o'clock. That's in for strike 3 for Taylor Cameron. That'll be her first strikeout. And it's a big out here in the bottom of the second as it brings up Emily Hall with a runner on second with 1 out. Emily Hall, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, Just a 205 batting average with 25 base hits and 6 doubles. Pretty much all of the starting 9 in this batting order have played in almost every single game. Taking off for third. The throw is not going to be in time. And it's going to be a stolen base there for Brandy Phillips. Stole second earlier, Tate's third. 15 stolen bases on the year. 15 for 16 this year in stolen bases. As that was a first pitch strike thrown from Taylor Cameron. But now 60 feet away is the go-ahead run in the first run of the game for the Lions. Bunted down the right field line, foul from Emily Hall. Caroline Carton on deck for the Lions. Well, we'll give you score updates from the other 3 fields currently in action. Mentioned earlier, 2 games already in the middle of their games. While we were waiting to start this winner's bracket game in Division I. I believe the other Division I game also started with Coastal South and Snead State. As this one's popped up, this goes up against the fence. And it's an 0-2 count here to Emily Hall. Northwest Shoals has already used up 1 visit on the circle already. That was back in the first inning when Jesse Taylor came up. But up in the count here, 0-2 to the catcher, Emily Hall. Swung on a miss. Caught her chasing. And a big strikeout for Taylor Cameron. Back-to-back Ks of Tessa Word and Emily Hall. And now Caroline Carton will come up with 2 outs. Already 6 strikeouts between Taylor Cameron and Katie Simon. And almost 2 complete innings of work for both pitchers. It's that first pitch. Will miss outside for ball 1 to Carton, who was hit by a pitcher first time up. 15 RBIs for Caroline Carton, a .413 batting average. 52 hit season with 6 doubles and 1 triple. The infield is in for Northwest Shoals. Carton pops this one up. Sis is there to make the catch. And now leave the runner stranded at third. Excellent job from Taylor Cameron with 2 strikeouts. We have a no score here as we head to the 3rd inning between the Patriots and the Lions here on JockJive Sports. No hits and no runs through the first 2 innings in this winner's bracket game between the Patriots and the Lions. As the Patriots will bring out the bottom of their batting order, Bethany Mink, Haven Steely, and Serenity Sisk. It's been the strength of the Patriots so far through the first couple of games and also throughout this entire regular season. The bottom of the batting order getting on base, set up the top of the batting order. So that'll be fouled off here from Bethany Mink. Playing at short today. Came in halfway through the game against Shelton State at short and also contributed with a base hit in extra innings as well. It'll be Mink, Steely, and Sisk. We'll lead things off here against Katie Simon. As this will be grounded foul down the left field line. As Katie Simon has struck out 4 of the first 6 batters she's faced so far through the first 2 innings. A 32-win season for Hanceville overall and almost a 20-win season in the conference. So that one will miss outside. Good take right there from Bethany Mink. Mink this season with just 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. 267 batting average. 28 hits season. Freshman shortstop. Getting the nod here against the Lions. So that one will miss downstairs. Another good take there as Mink bows back in the count. Haven Steely on deck. 296 batting average as a team for Northwest Shoals. Simon looking for her 5th strikeout so far through 3 innings. And she misses just inside. Full count here to Mink. Northwest Shoals looking for their first base runner. As Katie Simon struck out the first 4 batters she faced. Got a pop-up to Candy Clark. Carly Wallace with a line out at third base to conclude the 2nd inning. Here in the 3rd. 3-2 pitch, grounded foul. We also have some score updates from all across our JockJive productions today. Delgado with a 9-1 victory in 8 innings in Division I baseball in ACCC. And then we had earlier Snead State defeat Southern Union 10-7 in Division I softball. Just 4 Division I softball games today. Another foul ball from Mink. South Florida State defeated Bishop State 10-8 earlier. And then over in the GCAA Baseball Championship, Georgia Highlands. Congratulations to the Chargers on their 10-3 victory over Gordon Community College to win the 2024 GCAA Baseball Championship. 3-2 pitch. Mink fouls this one straight back to the press spots. Also more scores from Oxford and also in Jackson. Southern Union with a 4-3 victory over Northwest Shoals. And Shelton State run rules Nunez 11-1 in 5 innings. First 2 games were played at Jacksonville State University. As that one's inside and Northwest Shoals gets their first base runner off a leadoff walk to Bethany Mink. With Haven Steely due up next, who only had 1 plate appearance as she ground out the short in the first game today against Shelton State. Steely with just 1 home run and 7 RBIs, 13 base hits, a .310 batting average. This is only at bat number 43, pops it up against the fence for strike number 1. Freshman outfielder only playing in 33 of the 56 games for Northwest Shoals this season. Only 1 player for Northwest Shoals has played in every single game this season, and that is number 15, Candy Clark, who is second on the team with base hits with 57 on the year. Infield in. This will be bunted right back to Simon. Flips over to first in time for out number 1. As Mink will advance to second on the excellent sacrifice bunt there from Haven Steely. With Serenity Sisk due up. Couple of big at-bats in that win against Shelton State for Serenity Sisk. Batting 9th once again. Leads the team in stolen bases with over 42 on the year. Bunts it again, foul down the left field line. It's Northwest Shoals trying to play the small ball here to try to drive in the first run of the game here in the 3rd inning. Still no hits in this game so far for either team. 1 out here after the Haven Steely sacrifice bunt. As that swung on and miss for strike 2 to Sisk. Just 13 RBIs coming into this postseason. Drove in a couple runs in the win against Shelton State. Over 48 hits on the year for the freshman outfielder. Very young Northwest Shoals team putting on a clinic here in the tournament so far. So that one will miss downstairs. It will be 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 1 out. Braden Mitchell on deck. Sisk has blazing speed, so as soon as the fielder gets the ball, he got fired to first immediately. But it doesn't matter here as that swung on and missed. A strikeout for Katie Simon. That'll be strikeout number 5 for Katie Simon through almost 3 complete innings. And brings up Braden Mitchell, who struck out her first at bat. Trying not to let the runner on second be wasted. Mitchell with a 4 RBI performance against the Bucks earlier. First pitch will miss inside. Dual threat player. Mitchell only threw 38 complete innings for the Patriots this season. Before being called upon to come away with a victory, she was the only pitcher against Shelton State that came away with a win. And now here with a golden opportunity to give the Patriots the lead as she goes around for strike 1. Had 15 hits coming into this one, into this postseason, and now has over 13 RBIs on the year. And she's going to have a quick conversation here with her head coach, Angel Brown. Patriots were unable to get a record above 500 overall, and also in conference. They went 10-14 in the conference after losing 3 of 4 against Shelton State. Those two teams were going to face off against each other in the postseason. But whoever won that series was going to be the home team, and it was Shelton State. But it didn't matter. Northwest Shoals comes out victorious. So that one's right down the middle for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to Mitchell with Maggie Griffin on deck. The Lions will have hitters 2, 3, and 4 to lead off in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as we look for our first run between the Patriots and the Lions. Mitchell awaits. 1-2 pitch. It's downstairs. A good block behind the plate from Emily Hall. But this has been the same lineup the Lions have had out in the field all season long. It's worked out for them, winning every single series besides Shelton State. As this one's fouled straight off the fence. For Mitchell, able to stay alive here with 2 strikes. Mitchell, the designated player in this one, after starting the game in left field and then moving into the pitcher's circle. 3 pitchers used from the Patriots in the first game. As this is ripped foul down the left field line and out of play. Bethany Mink led off the end with a walk. Haven Steely with a sacrifice bunt. And Serenity Sisk strikes out swinging. Mitchell battles once again here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Simon looked for another shutout inning. And she's got it. Swung on a miss. Another strikeout for Katie Simon. As she keeps the runner straight into that second. We're heading to the bottom of the 3rd. Hanceville with a chance to take the lead here on JockJive. Welcome back to the bottom of the third inning, as it will be Jaden Foster, Laura Lee Wheeler, and Bailey Rouse, the heart of the lineup for the Lions, due up. And a scoreless tie between the Lions and Northwest Shoals. It's Taylor Cameron back on the circle. 6 strikeouts for Katie Simon on the other side for Wallace Hanceville. Just dominating these Northwest Shoals hitters so far in the early goings. A couple of half swings that resulted in strike 3. Now she's hoping for some run support on the back end here. Foster flew out to left field her first time up. First pitch sailed upstairs for ball number 1. That one sails upstairs as well. Foster, 4 home runs, 30 RBIs on the year. A .409 hitter this year for the Lions. With 56 base hits, 15 doubles. Laura Lee Wheeler not only leads the team in home runs, who's on deck, but also leads the team in doubles, with 20 on the year. And it's a 3-0 count here. The Lions have had traffic on the base paths, but they've been unable to get their first hit against Taylor Cameron. Cameron just loosened control of the strike zone. Has given the Lions the bases loaded in the first inning and a couple base runners in the second. She misses upstairs, and it's a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff hitter, Jaden Foster. And brings up Wheeler, who worked a walker last time up. And now head coach Angel Brown's going to have a conversation here with Taylor Cameron. Cameron provided 2 excellent innings of relief to come away with a win against Shelton State. And you have to wonder if she's a little bit exhausted after coming away with that big victory on the circle in the last game. But looks like just a friendly conversation here with her head coach Angel Brown. That'll be the second visit on the circle charge to Northwest Shoals so far in the early goings. Big moment in the game as well. Second straight inning, Hanceville has started the inning off with a walk. And now the dangerous Laura Lee Wheeler comes up. Just 1 RBI shy of her 50th of the season. Got some speed on the base paths here. The first pitch is going to be in for a strike. But no base hits between the two teams. Cameron and Simon have been phenomenal so far. Cameron with a lot of base runners on so far, but been able to pitch out of it. Can the Lions finally solve her here in the third inning? Sails upstairs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. But big crowds for all 4 games today as we go into our second wave of games on the evening. With another round of games coming up. That one's inside, but a good scoop there from Maddie Griffith, who did not catch in the first game. That was number 11, Dawson, came in as the catcher. Dawson not playing in this second game, but it'll be Griffith batting second as the catcher. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cameron desperately looking for a strike here against Wheeler. Wheeler flies one. This one's going to go over into the other ballpark, over to the right side. Look at that, as Wallace Doughton in their game over there on the other side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's one thing fans have to be aware of. As if a foul ball comes storming out on one field, it could go into the other ballpark or come over to the visitors' bleachers. That's over the glove of Griffin, and advancing to second is going to be Foster. And now we were at a full count once again. 4 watts have already been issued from Taylor Cameron on the circle. We were at 3-2. Fouled off one really good-looking pitch so far. This one she fouls out of play, and this could go over to the left side field, which is unoccupied. There's 5 fields here at Veterans Park. 4 of them are being used. The only field not being used is field number 3, I believe. Division 1 taking part on field number 2 and field number 5. Well, Division 2 is on field 1 and 4. And their winners bracket games. 3-2 to count here. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Cameron with the pitch. And it's downstairs. Back-to-back walks to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Now Cameron in trouble here as it brings up Bailey Rouse, who flew out to center field her first time up. Rouse with really good home run power this season. 1 behind Laura Lee Wheeler for the home run lead, 15 on the year. Well, leads the team with the most runs driven in with 51. And that pitch is downstairs and almost hit Rouse as well. It's Taylor Cameron and a big pickle here in the bottom of the third inning. Let's watch the first 2 batters with Jaden Foster and Laura Lee Wheeler getting her pitch count up and still have to deal with another powerful hitter with Hanceville. Haley Holyhand is on deck. Rouse awaits the pitch. It's right down the middle for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cameron trying to get on the same page here. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Rouse. Bunted down the right field line. Foul. Good idea there. Well, it's going to be a 1-2 count here. Cameron also with a bunch of strikeouts as well. With 2 strikeouts. Well, on the other side, Katie Simon with 6 strikeouts. It's been a pitching duel so far. And the pitch. It's going to be inside for ball 2. Phillips, Rouse, Wheeler, all with 45-plus hits. Or actually, Phillips, Rouse, Wheeler, Foster, and Carton all with 50-plus hits on the season. As that one swung on and missed. Big strikeout there for Taylor Cameron. That's her 3rd strikeout of the night. And a big strikeout to Bailey Rouse. It's either been a walk or a strikeout in the last couple of innings for Taylor Cameron. It brings up Haley Holyhand, who walked her last plate appearance. Runners at first and second here now with 1 out. As that one's fouled straight off the fence. Holyhand with 32 hits, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. And let's say the top 9 batters for the Lions, all with over 100 at-bats on the year. Kenyon Howard with 52, and then you got Amelia Sherrill with 29, and then besides that, every single batter for Hanceville with just over 100 at-bats on the year. Foul down the left field line and out of play. It'll be an 0-2 count here for Holyhand. Seems like the beginning of an inning. It's tough for Taylor Cameron to find the strike zone, and then as the inning progresses, she's able to find her form and come away with some big outs. Got a big strikeout to Bailey Rouse, one of the leading hitters for Hanceville. And now up in the count 0-2 here to Holyhand. It's outside. 1-2 here with Jesse Taylor, number 25, on deck. As the Lions looking for their first base hit here against Taylor Cameron. No hits in the game for either team. They're almost 3 complete innings. Cameron would love a double play here from her infield. And the pitch. Fly ball to right field. This one's going to stay in the ballpark, and this will be caught in right from Carly Wallace. No tag up, and a good throw over to third for out number 2. A strikeout and a fly out to right, and now Taylor Cameron is 1 out away from sending this one to the 4th inning. Taylor ground out to the pitcher her first time up. She'll bat here once again with runners in scoring position. First and second with 2 outs. Starting the inning off with back-to-back walks of Foster and Laura Lee Wheeler. And the pitch. Downstairs for ball 1. Taylor's at bat was very controversial as well, because Taylor did not take off for first because she thought it was a foul ball. Cameron scooted over to first, able to tag the first base, and then they went under a review and ruled in favor of the Patriots. And that pretty much killed the momentum for Wallace Hanceville to try to strike first. And we've been scoreless ever since. Some long at-bats from both teams so far. Only 1 base runner for Northwest Shoals on the other side against Katie Simon. And that one is going to hit Jessie Taylor. And actually, they're going to call it a foul ball. Taylor's pointing to her elbow, saying it hit her here. And they're going to rule it bases loaded. And now head coach Angel Brown wants a conversation with the home plate umpire on that last ruling. Now, at first contact, it looked like it was going to be a foul ball. But it is going to be the first hit batter of the game for either team. And now the umpires, all 3 of them, are going to meet and discuss if it was going to be either a foul ball or being hit by the pitch. And they are going to award first base. Bases loaded. And brings up Brandy Phillips with the base loaded for the second time in this game for Wallace Hanceville. Northwest Shoals with just 1 base runner so far through the first 3 innings. The Lions have had traffic, but have not been able to convert with 2 outs with runners in scoring position. Still a long conversation here with head coach Angel Brown and the home plate umpire, as you see on our screen. Live here on field number 2 at Veterans Park. As they'll break up the meeting, and a big at bat coming up here too, Brandy Phillips. Batting 7th in the batting order. Foster on at 3rd, Wheeler on at 2nd. Jessie Taylor is on at 1st. Strikeout and the flyout have been the only 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Phillips trying to give the Lions the lead here in the 3rd inning. As she pops this one up, and it'll deflect out play. For strike number 1 here to Phillips. Led off the 2nd inning with a walk. Now take that bat that when Jessie Taylor was hit by that pitch, that's the 2nd batter Taylor Cameron has hit in today's game so far. She hit the leadoff batter, Caroline Carson, in the 1st inning. Phillips flies one out play once again, and it'll go over into field number 3. 0-2 count here for Cameron. So we'll wait for one of these teams to finally break through and come away with a couple runs. Tessa Word on deck just in case. She would love an opportunity here with a couple runners in scoring position. And the pitch. Grounded foul from Brandy Phillips. Wallace Hanceville has won the last 3 meetings versus Northwest Shoals. Looking for a 4th straight victory. After dropping the first game. 0-2 remains the count here to Brandy Phillips. And Phillips fouls this one over into the other field. Long foul ball there. Some umpires and also these fans got to keep their head on a swivel, making sure they do not get hit by one of these line drives off the foul balls. The only fans safe are the two fans over in center field on top of the hill. Kind of hard to see on this camera screen, but at the very top. So this is lifted foul, and this goes another one into field number 3. Field 3, I believe, is over to the left, and then field 1 is over to the right. And it's a 7-3 game, home team in the lead. We'll try to give you score updates later in this one. And it looks like we got a score update. So not only have we been dealing with weather problems here about an hour away from Oxford, but over in Oxford at Choctawhatcha Park, they also have inclement weather pushing back games. So that one's sent upstairs. As tonight's Coastal Alabama South versus Snead State baseball game has been moved to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning due to the threat of inclement weather. So, tough first day for both ACCC softball and baseball. Division II baseball, however, had their tournament last week and concluded. As this one's going to be popped up and foul out play. Coastal North Coyotes from Brewton, Alabama, winning their first championship, making the postseason for the first time in 10 years. So congratulations to Keith Griffith and the Coastal Alabama North Coyotes for going into the postseason Division II and winning the championship. So that baseball tournament is finally over. So that one's going to sail outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the long at bat, the Brandy Phillips, who has fouled off multiple pitches so far. We've seen a couple of quick at bats from Katie Simon, but it's been a long 3 innings for Taylor Cameron on the circle. A lot of traffic. Strike away from getting out of the jam, however. 2-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the left field line once again from Brandy Phillips. But a bunch of games were able to conclude in Division I baseball. First 2 games were at Jacksonville State University, and now they'll conclude in Oxford. So hopefully we will not have to deal with that weather moving forward. So that one misses outside, and it's going to be a full count, and that will release the runners on the base paths with the bases loaded. The biggest pitch of this game coming up here to Brandy Phillips, who has worked it full. 3-2 count with 2 outs. Lions threatening to take the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. And time is going to be called here from Phillips. Tessa Word on deck. Taylor Cameron looks over in the dugout. Needs a strike here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Is grounded right to the third baseman. Fires the first in time. Aspen T, the Brooklyn Owens for out number 3 as we head to the 4th. No score between the Lions and the Patriots. Here on JockJive on field number 2 at Veterans Park. We'll be right back as you're watching the ACCC Softball Championship live in Alabaster, Alabama. We still do not have any runs in this one. We also do not have any base hits for either team as we enter the 4th inning between the Patriots and the Lions here on JockJive Sports. Dallas Renzi with you tonight in our second of 3 games on schedule here on field number 2. And the final game will be a loser's bracket game, an elimination game, I should actually say it is. So first pitch will miss outside, as it will be hitters 2, 3, and 4 for Northwest Shoals. Maddie Griffith, Brooklyn Owens, and Aspen Teed to lead things off here against Katie Simon. So that one will miss downstairs. 3 strikeouts, all 3 outs in the first inning. Katie Simon with just 3 strikeouts in the last 2 innings to reach her total to 6 Ks against these Patriots hitters. The only base runner was a leadoff walk in the 3rd inning to Bethany Mink. Grounded foul here from Maddie Griffith to make it 2-1. At the top of the 4th inning, Griffith struck out her first time up. So did Brooklyn Owens, who's on deck, and Aspen Teed as well. The first 4 batters of this game were struck out from Katie Simon. Lauren Stewart has to love the pitching performance so far. Fouled off at the very last second from Griffin. But the offense has left the bases loaded in the 1st and 3rd inning, and also left a base runner on in the 2nd as well. So the offense trying to get things going, but it's still a 0-0 tie. Patriots have not found anything offensively here against the Lions. And Griffin fouls this one straight off the fence behind home plate. As you see at the bottom of your screen, we do have Belleville State to the right side of us away in their elimination game. Saw Bishop State earlier away in their game as well. On these teams just waiting in the concession and fan stands, waiting for their next game. This one's going to be sit into left field, and that'll be a base hit to left field. Hard to see from this angle, but it's going to be a double, and we finally have our first hit. And Griffith with a leadoff double. Well, that'll break up the no-hitter for one pitcher with Katie Simon, as Maddie Griffin with a double to left field over the head of Haley Holyhand in left field, as it brings up Brooklyn Owens, who struck out her first time up. Griffin with a base hit in the win against Shelton State. Now has 68 hits on the year, and that's her 7th double of the year as well. Had a couple of good hits over the last couple of games. Had a very good series against Wallace Hanceville as well when these 2 teams met 2 weeks ago. Now a runner on second here with no outs after the leadoff double from Maddie Griffith in left field. 1-0 count here to Owens. Downstairs and takes a wicked hop on the catcher. Griffin goes to third. She'll advance on the wall pitch. And just like that, Northwest Shoals has a runner in scoring position. Griffin also is near the top of the most stolen bases for Northwest Shoals this season with 17 in here. She's been caught stealing 4 times this year as well. 2-0's a count. That one misses downstairs, and it's a 3-0 count. Patriots could not get anything going offensively in that. In the first 3 innings of this game, a walk, and then they had a sacrifice bunt, and then back-to-back Ks. Left a run stranded at second. Owens with a chance here with a base hit, or even putting the ball in play to give the Patriots the lead. That one's going to be in for a strike. Here to Owens, 3 balls and 1 strike. Owens is 3 for 4 in her last 4 plate appearances with 3 singles and 2 RBI singles. And the pitch. Grounded right to the third baseman. Rouse throws the first in time, and now will keep Griffin over at third base. Good fielding right there from Rouse to connect with Jesse Taylor at first base. As it brings up Aspen Teed, who struck out her first time up. And right now, Northwest Shoals, they're just looking for any kind of run right here. Put the pressure on Wallace Hanceville. Take the lead here. So that first pitch will miss outside for ball one. Teed had a 45-hit season during the regular season. 2 hits in the victory against Shelton State. And pretty much all these hits for Northwest Shoals came near the end of the game where they need their offense to come alive. Teed flies one to left field. And that one's going to drop it for a base hit. Griffin will score, gets away from the left fielder, Holyhand. And that is going to result in the first run of the game as the Patriots will take the lead 1-0. A mishap in left field from Haley Holyhand, and that draws in the first run of the game. It'll be an RBI for Aspen Teed. She'll advance to second. Candy Clark will come up next. Popped out to the pitcher her first time up, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner, yes. It will be number 25, Jade Robertson, coming as the pinch runner. She played in left field in the game against Shelton State and replacing Braden Mitchell. But Jade Robertson comes in as the pinch runner at second, and just like that, Northwest Shoals, they're in business offensively, bat-to-bat base hits. Maggie Griffith and Aspen Teed after Brooklyn Owens ground out to third. And now Candy Clark will step in. 3 base hits and 2 strikeouts in the win against Shelton State. As she gets a hold of this one, and it looks like it's going to be a foul ball. Home plate umpire immediately put his hands up. So Clark will go back into the batter's box, and Robertson will go back to second. That was immediately called from the home plate umpire before Bailey Rouse fired to first in time. On deck is Carly Wallace. So this one's grounded foul from Clark. And the count will be 0-2. Stadium lights are now on here at Veterans Park for all 4 fields currently in action as we speak. We did mention there were 2 games already in action halfway through their games before we got into the lightning delay. And that lightning and thunder delay came about maybe 5 minutes after we concluded the Shelton State and Northwest Shoals game. So we were in between games when that lightning delay started, but we go into this one with a clean slate. Grounded foul down the left field line. Clark looking for her first base hit. We had no hits through the first 3 innings. Patriots with a leadoff double from Maggie Griffith into left field. Aspen Teed with an RBI driving in Griffith. That one sails outside. Good take there from Clark. This will be 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out. As Northwest Shoals fans have to be pleased with their offense here in the 4th inning. Finally generating some runs. Or run as at the moment. Possibly looking to extend the lead here. Clark fouls this one down the left field line, right in front of the dugout for Wallace Hanceville. But that lightning delay, like I said earlier, definitely helped out Northwest Shoals. Give them an extra 45 minutes to an hour rest after concluding their thrilling extra inning victory against Shelton State. Well, for Hanceville, they were able to get some warm-ups done before the game and then had to be called back to the dugout And have to wait 45 minutes. Clark swung on and missed. And a strikeout once again for Katie Simon tonight. That'll be out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. As it brings up Carly Wallace, who lined out to third base her first time up. Wallace also had a long at bat against Katie Simon. And the first pitch. Wallace fouls it out of play. Over into field number 3. Bethany Mink moves to the on-deck circle. Was the first base runner of the game for Northwest Shoals in that 3rd inning. Aspen Teed, or actually pinch runner at second, is now on. That's Robertson, number 25. She came in for Aspen Teed at second after Aspen Teed was able to drive in the first run of the game, Maddie Griffith. Well, it's a 1-0 lead here. Northwest Shoals looking for more. That gets away from the catcher. Throw to third? No throw at third there from the catcher. Emily Hall, advancing third off the wall pitch. Exactly the same thing Griffin did as well. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike here to Wallace, who just needs a base hit to drive in the second run of the game. And she fouls this one off. And it's 2-2 here. Now, last strikeout, Kenny Clark, was Katie Simon's 7th strikeout through almost 4 complete innings. Been phenomenal on the circle so far. Needs a strikeout here. Can't get it. That one's outside. They will get call. Full count here with 2 outs. With Bethany Mink due up. And the full count pitch. This one's going to be popped up. Should stay in play here for Emily Hall. No, it'll escape into the stands. And luckily there's a cover over the bleachers over to the left side. Landed right on top of it. And we will throw another 3-2 pitch to Carly Wallace, who's had yet another long at-bat here. Lot of long, lengthy at-bats for all these batters. This one will be fly to left field and out play. Another 3-2 pitch coming up here. Currently 7:29. Here in Alabaster, Alabama. A 9-3 lead. On the other field, over to the right side. Let's try to see if we can get a score update for that one. As this one's going to be lifted into left field, and that one's going to drop in for a base hit. Carly Wallace with a 2-out RBI double extends the lead 2-0 for the Patriots. All 3 hits and all 2 runs have come here in the top of the 4th. Carly Wallace with an RBI double. Heck of an effort there from Brandy Phillips in left center field. Cannot make the catch. And the Patriots have grabbed 2 runs so far. Bethany Mink up next to bat with a runner on second with 2 outs. Now the tides have turned in this one. Mink goes around for strike number 1. Lines with the bases loaded twice through the first 3 innings, scoring no runs. The Patriots, as soon as they have a runner in scoring position, capitalizing, and they have a 2-0 lead. Mink with a ground ball to short to Foster. Long throw is in time, but not after the Patriots were able to get some runs off RBI doubles from Aspen Teed and Carly Wallace. We head to the bottom of the 4th. The Patriots with a slim 2-0 lead. Welcome back to the bottom of the fourth inning. Tessa Word, Emily Hall, and Caroline Carton due up. Taylor Cameron back in for her fourth inning of work. She's been able to pitch out of having the bases loaded twice in this game. And the first pitch swung on and miss from Tessa Word, the designated player. A strikeout victim her first time up, as that was back in the bottom of the second inning. Lions have had a leadoff base runner in each of the last two innings, and now will be fouled off in a quick 0-2 count here to Word. Very cool night here at Veterans Park. We saw lightning throughout the area over the last couple of innings, but it looks like the weather's able to cooperate, and hopefully we're able to get the final game underway in Division II play. The last score from the ACCC Division I baseball tournament was Delgado Community College with a 9-1 victory over Wallace Hanceville. That's swung on a miss and a strikeout to lead things off. Tessa Word 0 for 2 game with 2 strikeouts, as it brings up Emily Hall, also struck out her first time up. The only other final that we have in Division I softball was Snead State with a 10-7 victory over Southern Union. So that'll be in for a strike. Taylor Cameron, I mentioned the last couple innings, she struggles at the beginning of the inning, getting behind in the count, and then when she needs to try to step up and deliver some huge strikes to get some big outs, it comes near the end of the inning. But she has come out firing here in the fourth inning with a 2-0 lead. So that one's upstairs. As a reminder, we have Bevel State versus Bishop State here on field number 2 to conclude the night. We were originally supposed to have 4 games on field number 2. We now have 3 on this field today. Had to move a couple of games up. All the games I believe that they wanted to get done today, if we're able to get done, will finally be in the books. And we'll have a clean slate tomorrow. The first games will be starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. Shows bunt, draws it back. And it's upstairs. 3-1 now here to Emily Hall, with Caroline Carton due up next. So that one misses downstairs, and it'll be a walk here with 1 out. As the 6th walk issued from Taylor Cameron. She's also hit 2 batters as well. But Emily Hall will get on here with 1 out. Now Caroline Carton, who is 0 for 1 after being hit by a pitch to lead off the game in the first. Popped out the second her last time up. And the first pitch will miss outside for ball number 1. Jaden Foster moves to the on-deck circle. All 3 hits belonging to Northwest Shoals, all coming in that top of the 4th inning, scoring 2 runs. Hanceville with a lot of base runners, but no base hits. And that misses outside as well. Another good take there from Caroline Carton. Cameron looks over in the dugout, trying to get some instruction. 2-0 count. It's a dangerous pitch coming up here to the leadoff hitter. With Emily Hall on at first. No pinch runner in for her. So that one's downstairs, and it's a 3-0 count. Cameron trying not to walk her second straight batter here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jaden Foster led off the last inning, was left stranded at third base. The 3-0 pitch here. Upstairs, and it's a walk. Back-to-back walks here. That is walk number 8 issued from Taylor Cameron. And now it looks like we are going to have a change on the circle. Taylor Cameron able to get one out here in the bottom of the 4th, but the game's going to come down to the bullpen here. We're going to step aside here on JockJive as they make a change on the circle. Runners at first, second with one out. Northwest Shoals up 2-0 in the winners bracket game in the ACCC Division I Championship. Welcome back here to the bottom of the 4th. We go to the bullpen here with the Patriots with number 17, Emma Claire Wilson. The freshman right-handed pitcher slash first baseman making her 37th appearance on the circle this season. She started 26 games this year, 5 wins, 19 losses, 2 complete games, over 130 innings of work. And she delivers a first pitch strike as she comes in for Taylor Cameron. 161 hits allowed during the regular season, 84 earned runs, 42 strikeouts to 47 walks, a 4.53 ERA. Had to be relieved during the game against Shelton State over a couple of hours ago, but she's going to come in to try to save the day here and keep it a 2-0 lead for the Patriots. Wilson has pitched the second most innings this season for the Patriots behind Taylor Cameron, who she just relieved. But this is a very young pitching staff for Northwest Shoals. Taylor Cameron is a sophomore. We got Emma Claire Wilson and Brayden Mitchell, all freshmen. So that one misses downstairs. And then Dean Matwin, number 20, is also a freshman, and Natalie Batty is also a freshman as well. Brooklyn Owens, who occasionally pitches for the Patriots, is a sophomore, but you have a very young pitching staff going into next season for Northwest Shoals, but in a prime position here in the winners bracket game. So that one misses upstairs. It's 3-1 here to Jaden Foster, who was walked on her first plate appearance, or on her last plate appearance. Flew out to left field on her first appearance in the first inning. First and second here with one out. Game time run on at first. And it's inside. Bases are loaded for the third time tonight for the Lions. And all 3 base runners have been walked on the last 3 at-bats. Tessa Ward with a strikeout. Emily Hall, Caroline Carton, and Jaden Foster all have been walked. And now brings out Laura Lee Wheeler, who can do some real damage with one swing of the bat. Big moment in the game once again. It looks like almost every single inning, the Lions have had the bases loaded. First pitch in for a strike. They had the base loaded in the first. A 1-3 put out to Jesse Taylor. had the bases loaded in the third inning. A 5-3 ground out to Brandy Phillips. Now here in the bottom of the fourth inning, base loaded with one out. They have the right batter at the plate here with Wheeler. And it misses upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. With just 1 out with Bailey Rouse on deck. Best chance, I wouldn't say it is the best chance of this game with the right batter at the batter spots. The third opportunity here with the base loaded for Wallace Hanceville. Trying to break break free here in the bottom of the fourth. Fly ball to left field. And going back to the left fielder, she'll make the catch. That's Steely tagging up, and we are knotted up at 2-1 lead here for Northwest Shoals off the RBI sat fly. Good productive at bat. Almost was a grand slam to left field. But it's 2-1 after the second out recorded. As it brings up Bailey Rouse. 0-2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout. After the RBI sat fly from Laura Lee Wheeler, who had 2 walks coming into her last at bat. Now Rouse here. Flies one to deep right field, and this one is going to be caught in right field. Could not see from this angle, but I believe it robs a home run into right field. And it's going to be a 2-1 lead for Northwest Shoals as we enter the 5th inning here on JockJive. Patriots with the lead. We'll be right back. Two-1 lead here for Northwest Shoals. 2 runs off of 3 hits, no errors. Wallace Hanceville able to get an RBI sat fly from Laura Lee Wheeler to make it 2-1. And then a home run robbery in right field. It was very hard to see in right field as this ripped down the left field line foul. And we just got word that after the conclusion of this game, it'll conclude night or day 1 of this tournament. Looks like we have inclement weather. Might be the same weather that Oxford was dealing with that postponed Coastal South versus Snead State baseball to tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. as that is swung on a miss. From number 9, Haven Steely, Serenity Sisk, and Braden Mitchell also due up in this inning, the top of the 5th inning. But we just got word that this will be the final game that we will have played tonight. So we'll have 2 of the 3 games that were scheduled today in the books in Division I play. Northwest Shoals with a win against Shelton State to put them in the winner's bracket. So that'll most likely move Shelton State's elimination game as the second game tomorrow, since we still have to play the elimination game between Bishop State and Bevel State. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's going to be fouled off against the fence behind home plate. Steely with a sacrifice bunt on her only plate appearance. That was back in the 3rd inning. RBIs from Aspen Teague and Carly Wallace, the difference maker in this one. Laura Lee Wheeler with the RBI sat fly to left field, and Rouse had a chance for a 3-run bomb to right field. It swung on a miss, And there will be the out there for another strikeout for Katie Simon. So hopefully we're able to get through this final, as this will be, I believe, a pinch hitter. Steele just struck out, and she's right behind the home plate umpire and her coach. So it looks like we're going to have a Serenity Sis coming up next. With 1 out, bases empty here for Northwest Shoals, and right now, looks like it's going to come down to their bullpen and try to shut the door on the Lions. 2-1 game, but the Lions, with their power offense, they can change that with one swing of the bat. And I tell you, Rouse had a chance over in right field. Hard to see from this angle since we have the covers over the bleachers to right side, and the catch was made, or the robbery was made right in front of the covers in right field. Sis, we'll see if she held up her swing. They looked down the left field line, and apparently she didn't. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike as the weather continues to come in. Fans that were supposed to play later on moving out of the ballpark. Sworn on a miss from Sisk for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Katie Simon has had almost at least 1 strikeout in each inning in this game so far. The only one that she did not record a strikeout was in the 4th inning. So that one misses outside. Had a hat trick of strikeouts in the first. A strikeout in the second. 2 in the third. None in the fourth. 1 so far here in the 5th to open up this inning. Sis struck out her last time up. Swung on a miss. Katie Simon with back-to-back Ks to open up the top of the 5th. 2 up, 2 down. As it brings up Braden Mitchell with 2 strikeouts so far here in Game 2 after having 4 RBIs in the win against Shelton State. Maddie Griffith is on deck. 3 hits for Northwest Shoals so far. Wallace Hanceville still hitless in this one. RBI sat fly to left field. A fly out to right field following the sat fly from Rouse. A robbery in right field. That was from Carly Wallace, who's been a huge player coming off the dugout for Northwest Shoals. So that one's going to be upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Mitchell. Trying to avoid being struck out for the 3rd time in this one. And it's in for a strike here. With Matt Griffin on deck. Base empty here with 2 outs. Hanceville with a chance to try to knot it up or possibly take the lead. So that one sails upstairs. Only 3 hits, Maddie Griffith, Aspen Teed, and Carly Wallace. Griffith and Wallace with doubles, Teed with a single advance second off the air. That'll be fouled off. I believe it is a full count as the lightning starts to appear in the bat drop here on field number 2. Beautiful scene here at Veterans Park for this night game. Luckily we have a camera that's able to adjust to the nighttime and give you some high definition on the field. But you can definitely see in the bat drop there's lightning in the area. And the pitch will be popped up, foul territory to the left side. That will be caught from Jaden Foster. 3 up, 3 down for Katie Simon as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on JockJive. Back here for the bottom of the 5th inning. Northwest Shoals with a 2-1 lead. All 3 runs in this game came in the 4th inning. Bases have been loaded 3 times in this game for Wallace Hanceville. They've only scored 1 run. And a pitch from Emma Wilson downstairs. Hanceville looking for the equalizer. Still plenty of time here. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As that one sails upstairs. As it will be Haley Holyhand, Jesse Taylor, and Brandy Phillips to lead things off for the Lions. So, like I said, this will be the final game that we will have on day number 1 here on field number 2. Since we have inclement weather in the area. So that one's in for a strike. Good looking pitch there from Emma Claire Wilson after coming in for Taylor Cameron in the 4th inning. And got some help in right field from Carly Wallace, who robbed a home run into right field. That's the big difference maker, or Wallace Hanceville would have came away with a big 4-2 lead. So that one's going to be upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Lightning continues to flash in the bat drop. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bases empty here with no outs. Lions looking for the equalizer. And the 7-inning game for the moment. And the pitch. That's slow-moving pitch, but it's in for strike number 2 from Emma Claire Wilson. Holyhand with a walk and a fly out to right field. So far in her first 2 plate appearances. Jesse Taylor awaits on deck, but it's a full count here to Haley Holyhand playing in left field today. And the pitch, 3-2 pitch. Ground ball. What a nice diving play at first. And the dive, did she get it? She did not. It looks like it might have went out the glove from the first baseman, Brooklyn Owens. Heck of an effort. But Haley Holyhand's able to beat the tag at first. Brooklyn Owens with a heck of an effort and had to dive over at first base. Long meeting on the circle with the Northwest Shoals infield. Runner on first here with no outs. Game time run here for Hanceville. It's Jesse Taylor ground out to the pitcher first time up and was hit by a pitch, which loaded the bases up. Hanceville has had numerous innings with a leadoff base runner. Bunt here from Taylor, but that's going to be downstairs for ball 1. Lions the favorite to win the ACCC in Division 1. The other team that is also favored to win the ACCC is Coastal South. They're facing off against Snead State at the moment. 2 teams that were favored to win the division during the regular season, and that's going to be a foul ball. And it's actually not going to be a foul ball. It looks like it was missed. And going around was Jesse Taylor. So it is going to be strike number 1, but advancing to second is going to be Holyhand. Thought first it was a foul ball, but it's not the case. This one will be a bunt here. The throw to first is in time. Good play there and a good recovery there from Serenity Sisk at second. Moves the game time run into scoring position. It's off the sack bunt from Jesse Taylor. And it brings up Brandy Phillips, number 6, with a chance to tie it for Hanceville. The only run scored was an RBI sat fly into left field, which was almost a home run to left. Phillips chops one foul down the left field line. She's had 2 really long at-bats. A walk and a 5-3 ground out to third base. And now the Lions, or it looks like, might have a conversation. Lauren Stewart's going over her base runner and hitter for this bid situation here in the bottom of the 5th. And that will result in a players' union on the circle with the infield for Northwest Shoals as well. So after the long conversation, trying to make sure both players are on the same page here. It was a very quick discussion, and I believe they have a play written out right now, or drawn up here for Brandy Phillips. Tessa Word is on deck, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Phillips looking for her first base hit here. Infield in for the Patriots, as that one is going to be fouled off. Pitch that was well inside, but I'll be in for strike number 2. 0-2 here to Phillips, with Haley Holyhan on at third base. First 3 innings, a lot of traffic on the base paths, no score. In the 4th inning, we finally break free in the runs department. Now one's in for a strike. Strikeout for Emma Claire Wilson for a big out number 2. Wilson gets a huge strikeout, and now she's an out away from sending this one to the sits with a 2-1 lead. Tessa Word, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, needs to come through here in the 5th. After Haley Holyhan led off the inning with an infield single. Word chops one, base hits to left field. We're knotted up at 2 off the RBI single from Tessa Word. And the Lions have come all the way back to tie it up at 2. And now they have the go-ahead run on at first. And the entire infield's going to have another conversation here with Emma Claire Wilson, as Emily Hall is due up next. But finally, the Lions able to convert with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And Word's able to find a hole in the infield and drives one to left field. And now it's a 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 5th. Patriots with the momentum to start. The Lions have battled all the way back to tie it up at 2. A high-flying offense hasn't found that extra hits to finally break through in this one. But they're still in it, and they have tied it up at 2 apiece. And for a huge finish here in this one, the winner will be in the winner's bracket tomorrow afternoon. The loser will fight off elimination tomorrow morning. So that one's going to go upstairs for ball number 1. And the pitch. Ripped down the left field line, foul. Well, like I said, this will be the final game that we'll have today. Originally, we were going to have 4 games played. We have 1 game in the books. This second game, trying to get through it. The third game that we were supposed to have an elimination game in Division 2 will be played tomorrow morning. We're going to have a pinch runner at first base for the Lions. So pinch runner will come in here for Wallace Hanceville here with 1 base runner on, 2-1 count. Here to Emily Hall, a strikeout and a walk so far for Emily Hall. So they'll make the substitution at first. Hall, number 9 hitter, trying to come through here after Tessa Word with an RBI single, nods it up at 2 apiece. And that is going to hit Hall as she goes over to first base. And a little bit of a limp after taking that pitch in the hip or leg. It'll be first and second here with 2 outs. As Caroline Carton will step in here. And we might have a pinch runner for the catcher at first, a courtesy runner. As Emily Hall is still in some pain down the right field line. So back-to-back pinch runners used. Bottom of the batting order finding their way here against Emma Claire Wilson and the Patriots. First and second here with 2 outs. Wilson in for her second inning of work. And the first pitch will miss as Caroline Carton steps in. She's been hit by a pitch, popped out the second, and also has been walked in this game. Go-ahead run on at second base. And a tied 2-2. And the pitch will miss outside, unable to get call from the home plate umpire. And we finally got a final from Division I softball, a Snead State with a 4-1 victory over Coastal Alabama South, who was the number 2 seed coming into this tournament. So now Coastal South will have to face elimination. Ground ball, base hit into left center field. Here comes the runner, and the throw is going to be on target to load the bases up here for the Lions. As it's another 2-out single for Caroline Carton. Three hits for Wallace Hanceville here in this inning. And that brings up Jaden Foster with the base load here with 2 outs. It's Caroline Carton able to convert her first base hit of the evening. And now the bases are loaded for the 4th time. 4 of the 5 innings, Wallace Hanceville's had the bases loaded. As this one is going to be grounded foul down the left field line. Foster with a fly out to left field and 2 walks. Trying to convert here. 3 of the 4 times for the Lions they've had the bases loaded with 2 outs. Unable to drive in any runs. Foster hitless so far. Can she finally convert here in the 5th? That one goes downstairs. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike here to Jane Foster playing at short today. A couple of nice defensive plays at shortstop. Second pitcher used by Northwest Shoals in this one. Second appearance of the day for Emma Claire Wilson. Foul down the left field line. And it's 1-2. Laura Lee Wheeler is on deck. A 1 swing of the bat, and this game can completely get out of hand for Northwest Shoals. Lions were able to get on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 4th off an RBI set fly. They tied the game up here in the 5th off an RBI single with 2 outs to Tessa Word. Emily Hall was hit by a pitch. Caroline Carton with a single with 2 outs. That one's inside and almost drove in the go-ahead run. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heart of the batting order here for the Lions, trying to cash in here with 2 outs. And the pitch. It's going to be upstairs. And that will release the runners on the base pads. Here with 2 outs, they'll be going on the very next pitch. Always some drama here in this one between these two. Full count, 3-2. With 2 outs, 2-2 tie. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be a ground ball to short. Mink, throw to first. What a scoop, and it's in and out of the glove at first. And the runner, Foster, safe at first. And the Lions take a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. And now the bases are loaded here for Laura Lee Wheeler. As it looks like the rain's starting to come down here at Veterans Park. Some of the fans starting to get their items together. As we approach past 8 o'clock here at Veterans Park. As this one's ripped down the left field line, foul from Wheeler. But it's a 3-2 lead here for Hanceville. Wheeler with an RBI sat fly to left field. 2 walks on her first 2 plate appearances. Wilson trying to pitch out here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Ripped to left field. This one is going to drop in for a base hit as it goes all the way to the wall. 1 run comes in and score. Here comes the second, and here's the third. A bases clearing double for Laura Lee Wheeler. And the Lions have busted this game wide open here in the bottom of the 5th. And it's a double here to make it 6-2. 5-run bottom of the 5th inning. As the weather starts to come to make it a play here at Veterans Park. And there's a conversation in the dugout with Angel Brown, the home plate umpire. There might be a decision that's going to be made here about the Lightning, as they are taking the players off the field. And I believe they are going to give the Lions possibly the win. Unsure what the decision is going to be here, but it is a bases clearing double from Laura Lee Wheeler. And the weather is definitely playing a factor now, like we've been dealing with all afternoon long. 1 game was able to be played. We are in a 1-hour Lightning delay, and now looks like we are in a delay at the moment. We'll try to get more word, but we'll go to the commercial break. 6-2 Lions here in the bottom of the 5th.